Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 558, we're going to talk about Geth, Lord of the Vault. Now for 6 mana, we get a 5/5 zombie with Intimidate. None of that matters to us. The reason why we're playing Geth is that ability, man. And if it's 6 lines, you know it's got to be good, right? So X and a black. Put target artifact or creature with CMC X from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Then they mill X. What? So you steal the dead things, and then they mill. Geth is one of the very few commanders that actually feeds himself. We first heard about Geth way back. I believe it was Urza Block. He was just referenced on cards, but anyway, this is Artifact Matters. And how I got there, how I got to the Artifact Matters part is, number one, Geth is 6 mana. And so we're going to need to get that 6 to get, because if our whole shtick is that ability, then we need to get him on the board and get him his ability activated as soon as possible. So, a lot of mana rocks. And Geth was one of the chosen few. Got a Soul Ring. Now, yes, a lot more of my decks would have Soul Ring if I had more Soul Rings, but it is what it is. Soul Ring, Gilded Lotus, Star Compass, Run the Dark Ritual, Heraldic Banner, Seer's Lantern, Altar of the Pantheon, which actually matters for a couple of cards, Spectral Searchlight, Urgolem's Eye, Leaden Mirror, Walking Atlas. There's, tons of different mana ramp that we could use. But let's look at our artifact theme. That's the reason why I got to the artifact theme, is I was like, well, I need a lot of ramp. And then I looked at it and I was like, well, okay, this is a whole lot of artifacts. One card tipped me over the edge. Now, Cranial Plating can only be used in Color Identity black decks, meaning mono black or any combination thereof. So, but black is typically not your artifact strong suit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of blue, white does equipment, things like that. So I was like, I really want to make Cranial Plating matter here. So let's go through some. Why not? Card draw. We'll start off with Tower of Fortunes. I'll pause a second so you can stop laughing. It does seem kind of, not that amazing, but I actually had the chance to play this deck before showing it to y'all, and it performed wonderfully. It didn't win the game, but it was a force to be reckoned with for a good chunk of the game. And my opponent had I can't remember what Ryan had. He was had something to where he could steal artifacts, and I had several artifacts out on the board, and Tower of Fortunes is what he wanted. I mean, it was good enough to steal. Sign in Blood, Foreboding Fruit, Read the Bones, Blood Divination. Now, we don't mind sacking creatures if it's somebody else's creature, and we can get it back anyway. Altar's Reap. But the big boy, Village Broker of Blood, I don't put it with the creature section. I put it with the card draw, because that's why we're playing it. If that last line wasn't there, we wouldn't be playing it. So, Sign of Blood's amazing then. Let's just look at some artifact goodness, shall we? Swiftfoot Boots, because we want Geth to stay alive. Unwinding Clock, untapping all those mana rocks and other things, Whisper Silk Cloak, obviously, for good reason. Darksteel Forge, Sculpting Steel, Mystic Forge. I feel like I don't have a high enough density of artifacts in the deck. I could put just a lot of, junk in here I'd say junk. other artifacts, but I don't know. This may be one that gets upgraded. Now, Subterfuge, I love the play on words there. This was my 2-drop that game, and you know, I wasn't doing anything else in the early turns, and I think I actually got about, I don't know, 4 or 5 cards use off of it. Of course, that made me a target to that player, but Mind Crank, kind of an alt-win condition there. Voltaic Key, Culling Scales. Now, granted, there will come a time, no, everybody stops playing anything where the Culling scales itself. Scrap Heap Scrounger, Dross Golem, Glaze Fiend. I mean, that's a cheap flyer. Another artifact comes into play under your control, gets +2/+2. So we kind of, it's 2 themes, but the primary theme here is stealing stuff from your opponent's graveyard. The secondary theme is the artifacts matters, and we have enough to where, it's pretty good. Wishclaw Talisman, kind of our tutor, which, by the way, this is a great political tool. I guess we'll look at some creatures since there's not a whole lot. Have Salvage Titan that I paid retail for because, I didn't have any advantage to having artifacts being sacked. Gray Merchant of Asphodel, obvious reasons. It's Revenant. Creature cards in Yeah, I messed up there, didn't I? I don't have a whole lot of creatures in my graveyard. Here's a slot. So maybe once Ikoria gets us some good stuff, we'll replace the Revenant. Cabal Paladin. Historic spells, all artifacts are. Sir Conrad. Another creature dies. So, Midnight Banshee. More removal than creature, Speaking of removal, let's get to it. There's a bunch here because, let's face it, they're creatures, if we want creatures, which, by the way, I got a ton of creatures. There was I had a fleet of angels, and then, an ooze, and it was all kinds of good stuff. Executioner's Capsule, it's removal and an artifact just sitting there. I understand. In one of the games that we played, Executioner's Capsule is a lot like the buyback fog or something like that. The buyback counterspell, or cards that your opponents know you have, like the seals. So there's advantages to both ways. There's an advantage to having a fog in your hand and no one knowing about it, but there's also an advantage to having a Spore Frog on the table and everybody knowing about it. A lot of times it can steer that attack in a different direction. The same with Executioner's Capsule here. So that's just kind of one of the... Yeah, they're both good. And quite frankly, I run both. So Executioner's Capsule, Fatal Push, Quag Sickness, mono black. Chainer's Edict, Perilous Predicament. Everybody sacks an artifact or creature. Hey, that's exactly what we want to happen. Oblight's Ending, Slum Reaper, Yahini's Expertise, Drag to the Underworld, Devotion, Universal Solvent. This is our enchantment removal. Well, that and, of course, Meteor Golem. Murder, Innocent Blood, Terror, Infest, Hand of Death. Now, I know Hand of Death is not that good. It's, sorcery, dark banishing. But it's just so obscure, Corrupt, Life's Finale, and, O-Stone, because why not O-Stone, right? Let's see here. Playing with Underhanded Designs. An artifact enters the battlefield under your control. Of course, you pay 1. Everybody loses. Maybe. We'll see how it works. And here again, this guy about to shake hands with Spike guy. I think they're just trying to tell us, hey, we shouldn't be shaking hands anyway, right? Spoils of Evil. Wow. For each artifact or creature in an opponent's graveyard, add 1 colorless mana to your pool and gain 1 life. So this is mana ramp. There's no other way to put it. Now, it's mana ramp in the late game, when you want to just have, obscene amounts of mana. The thing about Geth I noticed is almost decision paralysis, because there'll be one little thing in everybody's graveyard that you kind of care about, and because of, hey, I'll take your 5-drop. Well, they mill 5, and there's better stuff in there. So Geth does kind of lead you into focusing on one player, to which Spoils of Evil kind of goes along with that. But it can seem kind of, why are you picking on me from that player? Because the more you use it, the better it gets against that player. So, I don't know. It's running Necromancy just because, Geth can't do all the heavy lifting, right? And then Grave Betrayal is our last non-land card. Hey, things are going to die because we're running a lot of removal. And if we can just, while Grave Betrayal not really an alternate win condition, everybody runs removal. All the creatures are pretty much going to die. Hey, I'll just get them. Non-basic lands, Rogue's Passage. Y'all didn't see that one coming. Cryptic Caves. Meh. Urza's Factory, making them assembly worker tokens. They're artifacts, and they're blockers. Why not, And then lastly, Vault the Whispers. But that is it for Geth. I want to say Geth is, what is it? Oh, shoot. I looked at the price right before over on Architect. I want to say it's, I don't know, $100, $120, something like that. Got a food token. I think Underhand Designs or something like that. It gives us our food token. So, we are done with 558. Scoot this over so the chair don't block the view. Put 558 on the wall. We're getting close. Now, Wizards says something about, I read it, but it's been a couple days, about how Ikoria being a staggered launch. By the way, that's when you know it's big. Wizards of the Coast does not normally alter their release dates. There's a lot of other game companies who just, the release date is kind of a goal. Well, if you'll notice, if you'll look back, when Wizards says product X comes out on this date, it always has until now. And this is the first time. That's how serious this thing is. It's the first time that Wizards has altered there. So it's staggered. It's going to be different for different locales and platforms and whatnot. But previews should start soon. Actually, I'm recording these ahead of time. Previews have probably already started when you're watching this. Or, heck, they may even be done. You may even be playing Ikoria right now. I may be. Who knows? No one knows what the future holds. Every day is a new adventure. So, that being said, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. I am going to pick up my phone here and be so unprofessional because there's something I want to do here. There is something that I think I have 2 new patrons to shout out, and I am behind. Super behind. We have, I know this is boring, especially for those of you just listening. David Ross, thank you very much, David Ross, for joining the team. I will get you the Patreon, the Discord link, so you can join it in the Discord chat. And it seems like there is one more. Yep. Could have done all this beforehand, but I forgot. Sean Carrier. Thank you very much, Sean. There again, I'll be sending you the Discord link. I appreciate y'all very much. I appreciate everybody for watching and subscribing and liking and stuff. By the way, if you're still watching at this point and haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. I know, see, this is a kind of unique channel. It's kind of different. Even EDH players, everybody's not going to want to watch every video, which I get, because some people just I've got a good friend of mine, Jimmy, who just doesn't play black or red, and so I know that anytime I do a black or red video, well, he's just not going to watch it because it's not his thing, and that's cool. I play everything, all styles, all colors, so I kind of have to with what I but anyway, I'm rambling long enough. I do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. And if you, I guess shameless plug, if you want to be a patron and join in with the Discord channel, to get a lot of ideas for decks there, very active Discord. There is a Discord or a Patreon link at the bottom, and now there's an email address at the bottom, and the Archidec page is going to be in every video. So I appreciate it, but right now we're going to shuffle and cut.